Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, then distribute it everywhere, and even earn money. We like that. All in one place for totally free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit podcasts right from your cellular telephone or your computer, so no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else, those other places that podcasts are heard.
Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, it's totally free, zero catch. We've been using it ever since we started How Long Gone. And ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel like having the option of turning off the Q&As and the polls on the user dashboard has really helped boost my creativity and take it to another level. I highly recommend giving it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started.
What's up, bitch?
Just reporting live from Nolita. You like Nolita?
Yeah, it's my favorite neighborhood. I love to hit some of those shops over there.
Yeah, there's Noah over here. Butcher's Daughter.
It's all you need. No, it's a rainy day in New York, but honestly, I'm kind of loving it. I've had a fairly productive day.
Oh.
Went to see trainer Mike Bell this morning, but then had a lovely Bowery Hotel breakfast with friend of the show, Pia.
Bowery breakfast. So we were at the Bowery twice?
Oh, yeah, last night, Jason. Why don't you tell the people what we did, since we were on the New York Media Elite party
Yeah,
circuit.
we went to New York Fashion Week's hottest party, the Gawker cocktail mixer. It was nice. No, it was very nice. I got no beef. I got no shit to talk, no tea to spill. It was just a nice collection of people who write on the internet, I guess, and then sliders.
Apparently, yeah, there were some sliders, and they did an interesting thing where they packaged like 4 fries together in like a cone. It's like less fries than I would grab with my hand, though. It was a confusing amount of
Otherwise,
fries,
you would have been
say.
munching it up probably if the fry denominations weren't off for you.
They were truffle fries, unfortunately. So yeah, it's not really
tough.
doing much.
The Waldorf had a lot of issues. That's a total teardown in terms of real estate lingo.
We saw
There's no good
friend of the
vibes.
show, Rachel Tashjian, was in the building.
Mm-hmm.
New editor-in-chief of Gawker, Leah Finnegan, was in the building.
Findog.
Apparently, we missed hashtag girlboss Audrey Gelman.
Gelberger was in the building and we missed it.
Gelberger was there, and I think we could have approached her and asked her to come on this podcast to redeem herself if it was in real life.
Do you think that her team would allow that?
Well, I tried to email her at audreygelberg@yahoo.com and I got a bounce back. And then the Audrey Gelman at thewing.com also bounced. So I don't know.
That was a bounce.
Yeah, it was a bounce. I think
that could be a payment issue. I don't know.
It could be the domain has
Take it up
lapsed.
with billing. I wish I had the answers for you right now.
I don't think her team would let her do it, but sometimes if the talent, if it's talent to talent conversation, Jason, sometimes the results can be different.
Okay, so her talent is creating female empowered workspaces, and then how does that coincide with your talent?
Well,
or is it just talent in general? Game recognized game, you could smell it in the room like a nice like a DS and Durga.
Yeah, I think it's game recognized game. I mean, if I showed her a picture of my apartment and the fact that it's all pink, I think that would have helped. But I didn't have that on me, and unfortunately, the Beverly Hills Hotel Palm wallpaper is back ordered, so I kind of couldn't finish the powder room.
Good luck getting your hands on that. And she's like, "Wow, I have the same copper fixtures in my guest bath." You know, all that kind of stuff.
My
synergy.
four-story brownstone. My four-story brownstone in Bed-Stuy also has a lot of copper fixtures, so that's cool that you guys have that. But we didn't get to link with Audrey Gelman, but one day she'll come on the program.
Mm-hmm. Had a couple martinis straight off the plane. It was nice. Got Got a classic NYC style beard lineup from my man Elvin at Tuft. We were listening to MF Doom.
Jason was spitting bars while, unfortunately, the clippings were going into his mouth, but it was worth it.
I brought an old tape of a bunch of old Mad Lib instrumentals, and we had a cipher. And
did you wear your MF Doom style mask for the trim, or did you have to take it off?
No, I had my MF Doom. It was, what is it called? Like the little apron smock that they put on you, so to cover your clothing. It was a Doom smock.
Yes.
And of course, the MF Doom pomade was in the hair.
I was shocked at how good you looked. to be honest, I was. Guys, obviously I was concerned about Jason's appearance as we have a tour coming up, and I want him to look his best. And he'd been in Italy, kind of living his best life, which means various substances, of legal and illegal variety.
It'll take its tone on your skin tone, your waistline, your wrinkle situation. A lot of salt water will get around the kind of the beard and mustache area, giving you a barnacle-like demeanor. It's not. Some people can pull it off. I sure can, but I looked all right. All you need is a beard trim because it's confidence,
Yeah, no. Luckily for me and for the listeners, you look great. You look refreshed. You were wearing a cool outfit.
I was presentable enough to hang out with your New York City media friends, and you weren't too embarrassed.
Unfortunately, Jason, when someone of your stature walks into the room, and by stature I mean height only, they know who you are. And they know that you're attached to me, so I couldn't even like unclaim you if I wanted to.
Okay, so you found a way to make this about you. Very nice.
No problem.
Yeah. So, but I am excited to be back in New York. I gotta say,
stateside.
Yeah, I had lunch with Yeo and Cho before this, and talking about how like once you are on the road for long enough, you just kind of get into that road mode, and some of your normal cares and worries go by the wayside, and because it just literally like taking time to kind of beat it out of your system. And now I have no home. I'm a gypsy like vagabond is the energy that I have now. I don't know where my next meal's coming from.
I do.
I'm building my furniture. I'm making my own clothes.
It's a deli in Nolita. Let me get turkey and mayo on a hoagie.
Mm-hmm. No Chipotle mayo.
Where did you guys have lunch? Did you guys go to Popeyes or?
We were talking about it. We went to a place called Golden Diner.
Oh yeah,
It was fine. It was serviceable. Whatever.
Classic Jason. It was mediocre. The Mexican restaurant we went to last night, that was a white chick restaurant, was better, wasn't it?
No, hell no. No, Golden Diner is much better than, was it Rosie's? Rosie's was pretty bad.
Where is Golden Diner? Is it in
Chinatown?
But it's like fake new shit. It's like new shit.
Yeah. It's new. It's not your grandmother's take on the deli. It has some, gochujang.
Of course. Well,
things.
because the East Coast loves to do, diner stuff. Because we just love to sit in a shitty, overly lit room and have a burger and fries.
Not diner talk again.
With a Korean twist.
Had a tuna melt. Kept it decently light.
Oh,
they fucked up some stuff.
Jesus
and they gave us
Christ.
a coffee cake, but the coffee cake was made out of matcha instead of coffee, and you're just like, come on, I work too hard for this shit.
Jason's disgusted. Jason's ready to get back to Glendale and have some fresh produce that he procures himself from the Whole Foods Burbank and get back to how life is meant to be.
Yo, literally, when we got into the city, Uber to the hotel, dropped the bags, and then walked straight to the No Leash and Sweet Green, because that was the first time that we had vegetables, a salad, kale, whatever, in what seemed like months. You got to check out Sweet Green. They have a hot honey.
They have hot honey now?
They have hot honey. You could probably get it on a sweet potato, not just the chicken, Chris.
Do you think that will prevent me from contracting the COVID-19 virus?
The heat part, yeah. The heat will kill COVID.
Okay.
The honey actually feeds the COVID, so it's kind of a net neutral. They kind of cancel each other out.
It'll kind of leave you with nothing.
Never pour honey on COVID. They eat it up.
Okay, so I was planning to stop this podcast right now so I could run up to my rooftop beekeeping kind of operation I have.
Man, if you pivoted to rooftop beekeeping in the city, that would, like, if there was a Vegas off off-track bet for that one. That's you're in Steve Jobs money.
One day I'll be able to do something cool like that, but for now I'll continue doing my little work for brands and this little podcast. But I
see you doing your little work for brands and shit.
I haven't heard a review of the Throwing Fits live show yet. I don't know if you have.
I haven't heard any reviews of when you appeared on the pod. I don't know. It looks like friend of the show Adam Pally was making a live performance. I mean,
yeah, I'm glad they got a real actor to help out. That's smart. We should think about doing something like that. But yeah, I loved going on the podcast. It was very fun. And then I went into the Discord against my own judgment, and it was actually totally fine.
I like that. I couldn't get you to do it, but Throwing Fits can.
Well, they asked me on the spot while we were recording, and I felt like it would be
talking about gotcha style journalism.
Yeah, exactly. I was trying to be a good sport and agreed to it, and then I went in there, and it's just guys asking you about workouts and loafers and stuff. So I could do that for an hour. That's no problem for me.
Okay, that's good. I mean, obviously you're not going to become a Discord junkie, but you're saying that you tried it out. Worst things in the world have happened to you.
Yeah. I tried it out. It was fine, and it's like I don't need to do it again. But it wasn't bad either. You know what I mean?
You're not going to start forming your own Discord.
No, I'm not. I don't like the way it looks because it feels like an old video game or something.
Yeah. So you don't like using like the dark night mode display type of thing ever for apps.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Actually, no. I don't use night mode on anything. I don't really understand
You
that.
prefer the white?
Like, what's the point?
The white to the black?
To save your eyes? Chill, bro. No, do not do that.
Yeah, to save your eyes, of course. That's what it is. But some people just like the aesthetic look of the triple black, But yeah, for the eyes, once it's nighttime out, you just reverse the black background instead of white background, and it goes a little bit easier on those peepers, especially if you've got an important LASIK coming up.
Well, luckily, I'm trying to damage my eyes as much as possible before the LASIK because I think that's going to fix it.
I don't know if that's how it works.
Sun as much as possible. Oh, I keep looking at the sun for hours every day, and it does hurt.
So your logic is like if you go in and they look at your eyes under the microscope, they'll and you really fuck those things up by staring at the sun and all kind chemicals and bleaches and stuff like that. They're gonna have more saddle to hold on to that bucking bronco of a laser as it cuts your eye open.
I just want to get my money's worth. You know what I mean? If these things are too easy to fix,
right.
What's the $3,200 for, bro?
Don't call the cleaning lady until she got something to clean up. We need to,
exactly.
Someone do a vomit situation, something like that.
I got to make a mess, TJ. You know that about me.
No, I'm with it. It's all about the satisfaction of a job well done. Well, I'm satisfied to do a pod well done with our great special guest today. It's exciting. I feel like we haven't had a guest on in a while just because of our holiday schedule.
Yeah, but you know Ruben Nielsen as the genius New Zealander behind the band Unknown Mortal Orchestra, and they have a new. I mean, put out a lot of records actually, but they have a new single that just dropped called Weekend Run. And interestingly enough, Jason, it is on our record label, Jaguar. So technically this is a label mate we're talking to.
Peer to peer.
You think he'll let us borrow a few synths for our show?
Yeah, our snare took a shit on us. I'll go easy on her, I promise. I have a tear in my throat.
Man, the Ampeg, it was just too big. Like it won't fit.
I gotta say, Ruben doesn't seem like the kind of guy who's going to be down to lend us some of his gear in the 11th hour. I think he might be a little protective of his equipment.
I think he lives in Portland now, actually, which is an interesting relocation because I feel like that is a big weather shift from the beautiful shores of Auckland.
It is a big weather shift from Auckland. I'm assuming. I've been to Portland more than New Zealand. But, it could be a Waves style situation where he's retreated to Portland to live a modest lifestyle while his hot chicken and beer investments, cash in. And then from there, I'm assuming, I'll let Ruben answer for himself, but I don't know. I mean, Holmby Hills.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Laguna. I don't know where he's going to head to. Kauai.
Yeah. Well, no, I think he's part Hawaiian, so it's very possible that he's getting.
Yeah, he's got a little Maori. He's got a little Hawaiian in him. He's an island man, and I'm excited to chat with him.
Let's go, bro.
What's up, Ruben? Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to How Long Gone. How the hell are you feeling today?
I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling as good as
You
I
sound
feel
jazzed.
these days.
Okay.
I'm from New Zealand, so
What do you mean as good as you can feel these days? America is thriving, bro. There's
it's great.
everything's rocking. The government rules. There's no viruses or anything. Shit is killing, man. I don't know what you mean.
yeah.
Killing is not the word I would use.
And if you don't like it here, you can just run somewhere else. You can go somewhere else where it rules.
That's a great point, and thank you for saying that, because I say that a lot and people kind of get mad at me for it, but since you're not from here, it's like totally fine for you to say that.
So, Ruben, you're saying if you don't like it here, you can just go back to where you came from? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, kind of. But I mean, because I've been, because New Zealand is
Okay, that's cool.
has had the virus kind of
Yeah.
figured out, better than some other places, and so a lot of my friends and family are just like, come home.
3 people got it over there, right?
Yeah, it is like really funny.
2 of them were sheep.
Yeah, and they have no perspective over there because it's a tiny island, and in a lot of ways, the thing that is bad about New Zealand is you have no perspective on how awesome life is. So I'll have friends talk to me. I play Warzone with friends from high school.
You said Warzone, like Call of Duty?
Call of Duty, yeah, like just as a way of keeping in touch with buddies and stuff.
Yeah, look. You can tell that to your wife. You don't have to say it to us. Don't worry.
Yeah. You don't have to lie to us, bro. It's
Yeah,
cool.
we're gamer allies, bro. It's all good.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta de-stress, babe. It's the only way I can talk to Steve and Devin.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you saying that you're a triple OG gamer and all these new heads are stealing your valor?
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm the valor stealing guy because I toured for 8 years, so I missed like whole generations of video games, and
You're too busy getting high and touching titties. I get it.
yeah. And then but I would also I'd be like getting high and touching a titty, and then I would see on my phone that there was a new Assassin's Creed out, and I'd be like, oh, I wonder what that's like. Look at the graphics. It looks so real.
The duality of man is revealed.
Yeah.
Truly the duality, man.
So you're saying you would use it, you would talk to you like you would play Call of Duty with your friends back home, and they would just be like, yeah, just come over. It's all chill here. Like, why are you doing over there in America?
Well,
And you're
no,
like, I
because
can't leave.
the thing that is weird about New Zealand is they'll be panicking and they'll be like, dude, there's been like 40 deaths. And I was
Right.
okay, well,
You're like per minute or what?
yeah, it's like I'm in Palm Springs right now, and I, whatever, and I would look it up, and it's like, okay, we got 900 deaths today in this neighborhood, like in this town. So I don't know, like the perspective is all weird because it's like, dude, what if it gets up to 50 deaths? And it's like, yeah, it's really strange. So that's the New Zealand perspective, and they haven't been doing lockdown. They're in lockdown now because
Yeah.
3 people got it or whatever, and the whole country locked down. And I don't know. It doesn't. I still want to stay here for some reason. I don't know.
Are you legally allowed to go back home?
It's hard to get home anyway. But before, I'm not willing to go through the rigmarole. Is that the right word?
Rigmarole.
Rigmarole.
Yeah, that's the perfect
yeah,
word.
I didn't know if Jaguar would let you use the jet, because they let us use that sometimes, but I guess maybe.
But you still have to do the 14-day quarantine, Chris. It's just
Even if you fly private.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, even
fuck
if you fly
that.
private.
Yeah, no, I don't do that. Do you own any property in the motherland?
I actually just got something. Yeah.
Oh, you copped up some farmland.
But I'm doing like a Jeff Bezos thing. It's like I'm going to build a bunker there or something. I don't know. I think I'm just like freaking out and thinking like, well, if it does get bad or something, then it'd be really dumb if I didn't have anything. So yeah.
If you didn't have an underground bunker, you play enough
you cop-
Warzone, your head starts going to places.
I'm going to build a house there because my brother is a builder, and he so like I was just thinking like, I don't know, maybe he could live in it.
We've interviewed a lot of musicians over the last year, and a lot of people in your same position are doing similar things. Doing some wild investments.
It's just bored. You just boredom.
You're bored, and your income that used to be a lot of money is now zero for a while. So like that'll make you start doing some weird shit too, probably.
Well, I don't know. It's weird because in some ways it's been better for me financially, even though I'm like going insane touring is expensive.
Yeah, touring.
It's expensive, and it uses up all your time. Like, I was only able to really start doing things like features and stuff because I was off the road. You know, it opens up opportunities too to think about stuff and educate yourself about stuff. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully your managers have told you to cut back and maybe that second bus isn't necessary.
We have one bus. We're a very tight ship. We've always been really we've kept our shit tight basically, financially, and I don't know. But now that we're off the road, we don't have to worry about, you know, like building a lighting rig or any of that stuff. The problem is like your crew doesn't get to work and stuff, but we were supposed to be off the road anyway, so we wouldn't have been on tour through this time anyway, so we were just lucky in that respect. But people always talk about Spotify being bad, but Spotify's just saved my whole shit. Like my family.
You made money from Spotify this year.
Yeah, I mean, I always have, and I don't know what I haven't quite figured out. I don't know what everybody else is complaining about.
They just need to get their fucking numbers up. That's kind of what it seems like.
I grew up in the punk scene, and when Napster first started, that's how old I am. Mm-hmm. But it's like my entire music career up till recently was through the pirating era, and I never made any money off of recordings ever. Mm-hmm. And now instead of pirating, taking all of your money, you get something. So I wasn't around in the 90s when probably people made a lot of money from selling records, but I don't know.
It's not amazing money, but it's better than zero.
It's amazing for me because I grew up with nothing. My parents don't have anything. Like, yeah, I feel flush. So I just like,
wonderful.
I just don't hate Spotify. That's all. I just think like, I don't understand why.
Welcome home, compadre.
Yeah, we're members of the Spotify community as well, dude, so we understand the love. Shout out to Daniel Eck and all the homies over there at Spotify. But no, I think that I agree with you because I know a lot of musicians, guys that you've never heard of that are making $40,000 a month on Spotify and won't sign a record deal because they're like, why would I?
Yeah.
Like, I'm making so much money from Spotify.
Yeah.
But then everybody loves to shit on it, and it's just confusing. I don't understand. Like, what? I guess it's different for everyone.
In this day and age, the thing about the music industry is that every single person has a completely different thing going on. And so you never know really what's going on. And I think we've just been like trying to find a sweet spot where it's like, I'm like not famous, but making a good living and
yes.
and making music. I'm making whatever music that I want to. And then
this guy got it. You hacked the system, bro. You're making all this cool music on old gear. You bought land online. I mean, this is, I'm jealous.
I mean, that's what did I come here for? Yeah. It is America.
But I mean, I like what you're saying about like, you know, not being too big, but big enough. Like at a certain point, you know, with the major label advances being paid back and, you know, the lawyers and the blah, 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 all that rigmarole, you know, it's not,
With
you just seeing all this
now at this point.
You just see all that money going down the shitter and that's tough. And you have to do a bunch of shit that you don't want to do.
Yeah. I don't throw very much money down the shitter at all. That's for sure.
Yeah. You live in Portland, for God's sakes.
Yeah. And Portland's a nice spot to be, has been a nice spot to be just in general for making music and touring and stuff like that. But it's pretty crazy at the moment. I went downtown yesterday and everything's, there's still like boards on everything and it's pretty.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty messed
Well,
up.
that Antifa, you know, the Antifa stuff there is pretty serious, you know. There's a lot of Antifa.
It seems to be.
You know,
I never
so
see it, you know. Like it's all sunny and and stuff like that. And then people are like, Proud Boys are like, you know, letting shots off in this neighborhood, and it's just like, what? How come I didn't hear that gunshot? And I always think like, I don't know, it's like an op or something. They're not real. Antifa and the Proud Boys aren't real.
You got to stay off that Citizen app.
I know you're a big Citizen app guy, so you got to watch that. It'll brainwash you. You know, you got to be careful.
Take it with a grain of sand, my friend.
Yeah,
exactly.
Have you been going a little quarantine cuckoo over there? We doing any? I don't know what the gun laws are in Portland. Are you strapped up? What's going on? Are you buying?
I don't know. I always
toilet paper by the pallet.
And back to the Call of Duty thing. Like a buddy of mine was going through a really hard time in his life, and so I was like, what if I just got him a PlayStation, and then I got a PlayStation? We could do that, like play gaming online thing that all the kids are doing. And so I was like figuring that out, and then we got set up, and now we play pretty regularly, and they're just like, "How do you not have a gun?" Because he has a gun in New Zealand. And it's hard to.
Oh, I didn't know you can have them.
I thought gun laws were rough in New Zealand. I assume they were very strict.
Maybe more in
New Zealand.
Australia.
It's hard to get a gun. No, I think it's harder to get a gun in New Zealand, but he has one.
Oh wow! Okay.
So it's he uses the same gun he owns. He uses it in the game.
Oh shit!
Because he knows how to use it.
Look, you said he was going through a tough time a little while ago. We might want to keep an eye on this friend, okay? Just in case.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean?
Don't make me call the local New Zealand.
Can you see the way that my mind works now? Keep the homies,
it's all starting.
You know, under observation.
Keep the Unabombers, your enemies closer. Your Unabombers closer.
I was more worried he was going to be like, I don't want to. What's that thing? You know, that show that came out, and the guy with the old man mask, and he says, "I don't want to be around anymore," or whatever. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah. Yes. I don't want to be around anymore.
Why did you relocate to Portland though?
From New Zealand?
You got hired at Nike, creative director.
Yeah, no, I didn't know anything about Portland. I was in a punk band with my brother and some friends in New Zealand, and we went on a tour of the States.
Yeah.
It was like, people's basements, and that was what we were doing in New Zealand and Australia. And then we got booked in the States, and it ended in Portland, and I have an uncle here. And so at the end of the tour, we're like, oh, it's cool. We'll go and visit family there. And then we came to Portland, and at that time, it was like heaven to us. We were just like, what is going on in this place? It was just like everywhere you went, the music was good, and everybody was, young and tatted up and stuff like that. And it was just that kind of like place.
Plenty of places to park your fixed gear.
Yeah, it was like
the coffee was strong, the cocaine was stronger.
Exactly, and it was like that kind of It was the pre-Portlandia era, which I think was better. I think when Portlandia's got a lot to answer for in this town, really. I think because it was like all of the stuff that was going on that you would joke about suddenly became like the main, the main reputation for this place. And then just things started getting like too wacky. And then I didn't enjoy going out anymore. But when I first came here, I was like, this is heaven. I'm going to move here. That was where the Unknown Mortal Orchestra thing started, and how I met Jake, who's the bass player in the band. And yeah, so I don't know. It's family first. It was family, and then meeting my uncle. And then, because I didn't really know him, and he'd been in prison he went to prison for 10 years.
Shit.
For what did he do?
It was something serious, like something to do with drugs in Miami.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Kind of
cool. Okay. So I didn't know if it was like some boring, like white collar shit, but this sounds pretty
Oh,
interesting.
no.
But
my family,
continue.
my family aren't like that.
You guys know how to do crime.
Well, we don't know how to do it properly, obviously, because it would be better to be a white collar criminal. But
okay, we digress.
But yeah, it's
you would think.
I don't come from money. If it is that is what I'm trying to say. And but yeah, he was here, and he kind of like went off. He kind of dropped off the map the whole time he was in prison. So it was really cool to see him, and he's really fun, and he's actually really fun guy. And then I was just kind of like, oh man, he's kind of legendary in my family.
Yeah.
Sure.
Uncle Duke. And so it was kind of like we hung out with him, and it was just nice because he's from Hawaii, and it was cool to reconnect with that, side of the family and stuff. And so I just kind of came here because I thought like, well, it's a cool town, and my uncle lives here, and my cousins and stuff. So yeah, and I ended up here, and I thought like, I'll move there for a couple of years, and now it's like 11, 12 years or something.
And also Portland, very close to Hawaii.
Yeah, and there's a Hawaiian connection. I keep thinking about going to Hawaii, and my dad, who spent a lot of time there, because he's from New Zealand, but he spent a lot of time there, was saying he didn't think that I would necessarily take to it well because of the rock fever thing.
Rock fever? This
thing he calls rock fever, I don't know if that's what everybody calls it, but it's like feeling claustrophobic, that you're stuck on a rock, on the island, and you're just like,
I thought it was going to be like a Jack Black kind of thing, where you just, when you're jamming or something
rock
like that.
fever. Yeah.
I've been to Hawaii a few times, and the rock fever is a real thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I guess I can kind of imagine it, like the insanity gets into you. I think it's a little bit similar to New Zealand. New Zealand's like that too. It's like,
oh, sure.
It's like a friend of mine was taking a walk around this place my dad used to live in. He was just like, oh, look, it's God. And it was like the light coming through the clouds and onto the water and mountains and stuff. And I was just like, God damn it. Like I just grew up around that.
Right.
And it's like I didn't even notice it. But now I look at like photos of it on my phone and I think, God damn, it looks like that.
They ain't got that in
But it drives
Denver.
you nuts because you're just kind of like, I don't know. It drives me nuts.
Freaky as hell. Yeah, I mean, the island, the rock fever, I don't get as much as like the flying over, like in the, like going to another continent, like flying in the middle of the ocean to where if something were to happen, you're just hours and hours and hours away from civilization, just in the middle of the ocean. That
Having to swim.
having to swim thousands of miles, yeah.
That
gets to me.
Jason's not a strong swimmer.
I'm not, despite my
I'd be
lengthy,
fine.
despite my swimmer's body. Well, what kind of bands were your influences for the Mint Chicks? Punk wise, what were you guys trying to sound like?
The main influence was the Buzzcocks.
Okay.
That was our ideal.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But we were influenced by all kinds of modern things as well.
Talking about Rancid?
No, not Rancid. I think more
Just
like
kidding.
Fugazi maybe, or like At the Drive-In we really liked.
Yep.
God, we've talked about At the Drive-In on this podcast. They were so fucking big.
Yeah.
And then all the other bands after it sucked.
My problem with At the Drive-In was always that I didn't really like the songs. I just kind of liked the idea of the band and the sound and
The clothes, the attitude, the stage presence.
The hair.
yeah, all that kind of cool stuff. And then because they were pretty cool dudes.
Everything but the music was good.
Well,
Shit
it was
music.
like I didn't like hate the music. It was just like I preferred the punk that you had been introduced to in high school, and that was like the really songy stuff.
Right.
Ramones, Buzzcocks, I don't know, Magazine.
Yeah.
So I was like, so that was what we were trying to do, write songs like that.
You ever have a Morrissey phase?
Yeah. I mean, I like all that stuff even today. I mean, he's a weirdo and stuff, but I don't care.
Same,
I mean, it's
same.
like I don't give a shit. Like people are like he's racist. It's like so. I don't care. I don't care. Like I literally don't give a shit. Like I actually not that I'm like I think it's good that he's a racist. Like that sucks,
Right.
but it doesn't ruin the music for me really at all. And it's like Kanye when they say Kanye put the red hat on. It's like he's interesting, I find Kanye interesting, so I don't know. Would you rather just not have it?
Yes, I would rather not have it. I don't think the Kanye music has...
I do like a provocateur.
I don't think Kanye's put out good music in 10 years, though. If the music is good, it's worth it. You know what I mean? But the music's not good, to me.
I guess. I mean, I don't want to talk about Kanye honestly because that's kind of ridiculous. But
That was last week.
yeah, and people also will talk about it more interesting ways than me. But I will say, like, for me, it's like the whole process of trying to understand what the fuck's going on is more interesting than if it wasn't there. And my favorite
I see what you're
Kanye
saying.
album is Yeezy, and I hate Yeezus, and I hated it when I first heard it. I was just like, this is awful. And then it's how many a lot of records that I really love started off as things that I just didn't get at all. Like Forever Changes by Love is like one of my favorite albums ever.
Yeah.
But when I first heard it, I was just like, what? I don't get this, because I was all into punk, and I was just like, it's all acoustic, and and then it's like
I was actually the
you
same
listen to
way.
it again and you think, wait, what? And then it took me like 4 attempts to actually get it, and then when I got it, I got it so hard that it like changed my whole perspective on music. So, and honestly, it's not really. I mean, I suppose Jesus is kind of like that, where it's just kind of like I didn't get it at first. So if you don't get it at first, that's really interesting. And also these days, everybody thinks they get everything straight away, and they don't. And it sucks.
You're right. I definitely do that. I agree. If I listen to something, I'm totally guilty of that. If I listen to something once and I don't like it, I just don't listen to it again.
Just because it's easier that way, Chris.
Well, why would you? There's no time, but sometimes you see somebody that you respect say, this is genius or whatever, and you're like, what? That thing that sucked. And then you go back to it, and sometimes you kind of like, you have a rethinking of it, and sometimes you don't.
Sure.
But I mean, the way that I make music is like, I'm not trying to get you on the first listen at all. That's like, if it was a video game and I was adjusting like You know how when you make a character in an RPG and you get to choose like intelligence, strength, or whatever, you know,
speed, agility.
Yeah, I would be taking all my points off of wow factor and putting them all into the attempt to like all of that stuff that's supposed to grab you in the first listen. I'm taking all of that out. Like I don't give a fuck. Like I don't care.
Are you saying you're doing that on are you doing that on purpose?
Yeah.
Or are you saying
It's
that's
a
naturally
mission.
how it works for you?
Like I think that's the thing that makes me different from other musicians is that it's my mission to almost challenge you to not get it at first. And but I'm taking all of that. I'm not just doing that as a troll. Like I'm taking that and I'm putting all that effort into trying to make it so that it sounds as good 10 years from now as it does now.
That's a thing that not enough people are considering, but then that's how you get those real, fans that you care about. You're saying like, hey, I'm going to lead you down this long, winding path, and most people are going to give up, but it'll be worth it at the end if you trust me, kind of thing. And then that's a record that you'll play for the rest of your life, unless you failed.
I mean, as long as I can feed my kids, then that's fine.
Yeah,
and that's not a really dumb like, oh no, I have to make it have longevity. He's like, Dad, I need shoes.
Are you saying kind of like if you wanted to write a song for Rihanna, you could do that, but you're choosing not to do that because that doesn't interest you?
He's saying he wouldn't do that because Tame Impala already did.
Well, that's a good point. It's like that if you would get to actually look at because I think like Tame Impala is like the leader of the genre that I'm in, and I feel like I'm not the same at all as that because of that factor of like that whole like wow factor thing is like. But I've never been trying to do that. Like I've always been different in that way. So
what I'm saying is I don't know if people like set out to write those songs or if that's what naturally comes to them.
You think that artists aren't in there trying to grab your attention on the first listen? You're wrong.
Oh, I think a lot of them. No, I think a lot of them are, but I think the best ones aren't.
Yeah, I guess so. It depends on how you look at it. Because I think that in the pop world, because I've been in a few rooms, watching the way that other people do it, and I think ideally, at the most exciting level, it's the idea of like accidentally doing something amazing is the goal, you know? And again, that's the opposite of what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to do really much at all by accident, but I have been trying to...
well, if you believe that Jesus is in the room with you, it's no accident, brother.
Exactly, you're good.
Yeah, but Jesus is always in the room, so I don't really mind. He's here now.
Amen, brother.
He's strumming in the corner. We just can't pick it up.
But yeah, you want to have that magical moment where you're just like, oh wait, is this a thing that we just did? And then you wake up and listen to it the next day, and it still sounds good, and you say, by golly, I think we've got a hit on our hands, boys.
It's like drugs where you're chasing this thing. It's like a really hard to find high. Where you're chasing this thing where if you hit on it, it makes you feel better than anything. Yeah. But then the thing that happens is if I do stumble onto something like that, I spend all this time like washing out all of the incidental stuff. I'm not saying that my way's right and everybody else is wrong. I'm saying that this is what makes me.
What do you mean you wash out the incidental stuff? I thought you were going to say like you find the perfect snare and then you EQ it for 10 hours and ruin it.
No, because I don't do
that. Okay, good.
Because I don't overwork things because I spend a lot of time like trying to develop my ability to work on things a lot without going too far. But it's just different. It's just the way I do it versus the way other people do it.
Are you writing alone most of the time?
Most of the time. Like it's been a process of trying to get more people involved over time because I don't really want to be by myself because it sucks to win alone.
My co-host would disagree. The more people you win with, that's another person that's got to get a cut, though, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to not care about money. Yeah, but it's like if you win alone, then it's like who are you cheersing with? It's like you can sit alone and be like, yeah, me.
Yeah, you want to celebrate the wins with your loved ones that got you there,
etc. Yeah,
but a lot of people in your position, they're not trying to just win alone, but like their creative process, their writing process, whatever it may be, they just can't do it with other people. Like it just fucks up the flow.
Well, I have that problem as well, which is why I put effort into trying to undo that enough to work with people. But I still, when I collaborate, it's like, with my brother or with my friend that's been in a band with me for 10 years. It is hard for me to collaborate because it's hard for me to be spontaneous with other people around because I am trying to, that whole thing of bouncing energy off other people is sometimes hard for me because I want to be sure about what I'm doing. I want to know that what I'm doing I think is good, and that's all I care about.
I think we should take that approach to this podcast, Jason.
No, I think I'm good.
Just talk to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, Jason's been dragging me down for years. I think you just gave me the push I need, Ruben.
Well, a lot of us have grown during quarantine. Well, I'm speaking of alone writing, how are you dealing with alone time just at home, personal life? Are you the kind of guy who needs a lot of solitude to stay recharged or not so much?
Yeah. I need to be by myself or with people that are really close.
How many kids you got?
I have 2.
How old are they?
My son is 12 and my daughter is going to turn 11
okay, so these are
next week.
These are like getting towards adulthood. These are big kids.
Yeah. And they're funny and you can hang out with them, and
they're not going to narc you out to your wife or anything.
Probably not, actually. But yeah, they're just like they're not like just dependents. They're like human beings that are fully operational now.
They can offer you interesting insights on the world and tell you things that you didn't already know.
Yeah, and that's the game plan. Is that eventually, like, the more out of touch I get, the more they'll remind me, like, what words the kids don't use anymore and stuff like that.
That's nice. That's a good reason to have kids alone.
I know. It's a lot of extra work. I don't have any kids, so I have to it's a full-time job knowing about all the cool words that people are saying and not saying.
Yeah, because they can just be like, what did you say?
That is very humbling.
Well, then you can just keep saying it, but you know that you're being a corny dad then, rather than being completely clueless that you're a corny dad. It's like nothing's going to stop the dad coming for you.
Right.
So it's just whether you're aware of it or
whether
not,
you want to own it or not. Like, yeah, I'm going to say this bad word, suck my dick, kids.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Do the kids still say that? Do the kids still do that? And then yeah, so I've been like, transitioning to my mega dad phase.
Oh.
Like I'm a Reeboks guy now.
You got Reeboks.
Yeah, that's.
Are you mowing the lawn yourself? Are you doing were you doing jobs around the house? No,
I'm pretty handy, I suppose. I know I'm kind of getting more into things like watches and cars and more dadly things.
Are you copping cars now too? What's the whip game?
Model 3, Model Y, what's going on, brother?
I don't know. It's kind of early, but what I've been interested in lately is old Alfa Romeos, like the 1750 GTV and stuff like that. Those kind of old Alfa Romeo race cars. They look kind of corny. They're not. They don't look like sports cars. So I don't know. It's just interesting, the history and stuff like that.
It's a small car. You going to fit in one of those?
Well, I'm a little guy. I'm not.
Are you?
I'm not a big guy. I'm not tall or anything.
Yeah, then you're good.
Do you drop them off at school in the Escalade or the G-Wagon? Like, what's the daily driver?
Well, they the daily driver. Well, I don't have a car at the moment, so I'm
the grocery.
I'm kind of looking at what I'm going to get.
So you're saying
next.
so you're getting into cars, and by getting into cars, you mean getting your first car?
Basically, yeah. And I'm going to probably have to learn how to drive the car because I've never in New Zealand. Like, there's a massive boy racer culture. I didn't like that at all. So I've kind of like gotten to the point now where I'm just getting to the point where the era that I'm interested in general, which is kind of like the second half of the 60s and the first half of the 70s, it's making me interested in like all kinds of things from that era. And I never had time for this stuff before. So the kind of car that I want to get is like, I'm going to have to learn how to drive that car.
It's not going to handle like your Subaru Ute back home. It's going to require some in the British wiring, the French wiring. Yeah. It's all tough, Yeah.
And my wife drives and stuff, and she has a car, but I'm not going to talk about that because privacy.
Sure.
Of course, yeah.
Well, speaking of privacy, do you get a lot of stop and chats in Portland?
No,
you get spotted by fans?
Somebody was asking me about this the other day. I spent some time in Palm Springs, and it happens a lot more there. I guess because Californians are just more outgoing.
Sure.
No, I think you have a big older gay listener, I guess.
Yeah.
lot of silver teddy bears at Trader Joe's pulling you over in the tequila aisle.
We can all agree the music is timeless, but I didn't know it was that timeless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I make an older style music to attract an older style man.
Childless gay men who are in their 70s are always fawning over me.
Dual income, no kids, plenty of money to spend on merch.
I take advantage of that, you know.
That's a string I don't mind plucking.
I don't look a gift horse in the mouth.
No, sir.
What is your attraction to Palm Springs? Just that desert heat? What brought you there? Like, what do you like about it?
Rental investment, maybe?
I'm never going to be a landlord. That sucks.
Oh, okay. So you're not like Waves?
Yeah, I'm not interested in renting houses to people.
Yeah, Jason, stop being talking to him in broke voice, Jason. He don't rent, bro.
I buy or I sell.
He just owns. That's it. Maybe it's buy or sell.
No, I mean, I don't want to rent it out. Like, I don't want to be a landlord.
You don't want to deal with all that hassle and headache.
Yeah, and I also don't want to be that.
You don't want Twitter to find out that you're a landlord either.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't want to go the Waves
route. Do you remember when
you
Waves
don't want to get canceled.
Told everybody about his
he was on the show a few weeks ago. We talked.
Man, I was amazed that he did that. I was just kind of like, the thing is that's a very, I think, blue collar attitude that he didn't really even think about it. Mm-hmm. But I think it was a funny way. It was funny the way that played out.
People reacting to that is insane.
Yeah.
But Palm Springs, you're just feeling the vibes, basically, is what you're saying.
I mean, I'm a vibes person, you know, as dorky as that is. I mean, it's just like, I know myself. And so I'm not going to live anywhere for any particular reason other than like I walk around and I'm like, yeah, I like this place. So that's really, Palm Springs. We played Coachella this one time and I stayed for a while in Palm Springs just as I don't know, I just thought like, oh, maybe I'll stay for a while. And I got an Airbnb and then just the place that I was staying in was like perfect. It was just like the perfect layout. And so I just thought like, oh, I wonder if I could like, what if I like bought a place that was like exactly like this place? And so I found a place that was like really, really similar and then just bought it. So then I was just kind of like in Palm Springs and I thought like, this would be a nice place to get away from Portland sometimes because it's like the opposite, you know, because Portland's just like rainy and
dreary, wet, chilly.
Yeah, and it's sort of like inspiring, but also I've made records in a Portland basement for a long time now, so it was kind of like the idea of like recording a few tracks and then jumping in the pool sounded really good. But my plan was that I was going to do that with all my bandmates and that I was going to make this kind of band record rather than, and quarantine like forced me back into the loner zone where I was having to do everything myself, and I think I was okay with the outcome of it, and it worked out okay, but it's really not where I want to be. And it's like you were saying about the Tame Impala thing. It's like that's what Kevin does. So you know, I'm kind of like inspired to not do that and kind of keep looking for a point of difference. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, a differentiator.
Yeah, and like trying to find what it is that, you know, makes us different from King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard and Heather and all these other psychedelic bands, because we are very different from all those other bands. And so
definitely.
So yeah, and so being stuck by myself wasn't the greatest thing, but being stuck by myself in Palm Springs was kind of nice.
When you do that, do you go out with the family or is it just daddy time?
I mean, I can't work. That's part of the reason is that I needed somewhere. I needed to figure out a different place because when I was younger and my kids were little, I could lock myself in the basement for like 12 hours and work a lot. And as they get bigger, it's just like
they keep asking you for shit.
My son's like really good at Apex Legends, and I set the gaming up down here, so he wants to get sweaty on Apex Legends, and he wants to, like I do, start doing some boxing lessons with my son, and he's like, Dad, come and hit the bag.
So your son keeps trying to hang out with you and stuff.
Yeah, and my daughter wants to go for walks, and you know they're human beings now. They're not like little slugs that I have to feed and and come up with like just money for they need. So if I want to work, then because they don't understand time. Like you need like 10 hours of working without even being bothered, and
it can't just be like, "Are you done writing the album yet, Daddy?" And you're like, "No."
Yeah, because 3 hours is so long to them. It's just kind of like, are you done working yet? And it's like, I haven't even started.
You don't understand my process.
Yeah. So like, Daddy's going to have to go to Palm Springs now. And then, so I went to Palm Springs and then I was alone. I could be alone for like a month or
so
whatever.
you got you have the full stew set up in Palm Springs and in Portland, so you can do it all.
Yeah. I kind of have almost like a mirror image, same gear. Like
You got all the fuzz pedals and everything down there. They probably sound better in Palm Springs too.
It's such a different thing. It's like, I've been writing like way more upbeat songs, which is I think what I need to be doing right now. Cause I'm a sad girl and like,
You are.
when it's like, when it comes to this time, we're in like this ultimate sad girl time. So I don't really want to write a bunch of depression anthems during this time. Cause I don't know, it'd probably be good for my bank account or something, but it just doesn't feel like spiritually the right move. It feels like what people need is like something to like lift them up. So I've been trying to do that.
You go down to Palm Springs, you call up some guy from Queens of the Stone Age or something, and you start making some high octane, some Scorpion Blood style rock and roll music.
Well, me and my brother actually, it's funny you say that because me and my brother did start doing that before quarantine hit, and Cody's my brother. He plays the drums, and
shout out Cody.
It is really, it really does want to make you do that, like write riffs.
Yeah, you're just drinking tequila and lime juice and going ding 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 ding.
Yeah, and I'm a tequila lime person anyway, so.
Okay.
Are you smoking hella grass, or are you just getting twisted?
My brother smokes like more than anyone I've ever seen.
He's on his little chimney shit, like
yeah,
puffing?
he doesn't stop. It's like actually pretty bad.
Talking about Cody Khalifa.
Yeah, it's probably I've never met Wiz Khalifa, but I think it's
saying he has a legitimate drug problem.
Yeah, I think to me it's just like you're a drug addict. So, but
he's like, yeah, bro.
Well, he's
kind
just
of been doing this for a while.
Have you ever tried stopping? Because he started when he was 13, and I used to smoke with him. I was 15 then, and he smoked every day, pretty much, almost like unbroken. I mean, it's a Hawaiian thing too. Like my mom smoked all the way through my childhood and stuff too. I mean, it's normal there. They don't like it's not a narcotic in Hawaii. It's just like.
It's like chewing gum.
It's like chewing gum. So he's been smoking since he was 13. And because everybody around me is smoking, my uncle smokes and everybody in my Hawaiian side smokes, it's just like I've never been interested in it really at all. I mean, I'll smoke, plenty as much as anyone else, but I just don't really like it. So no, I'm not.
More of a cigarette guy.
More of a cigarette guy, for sure.
There we go.
I like tobacco.
Do you think it's made him a better drummer and a stupider person, or do you think it's the other way around?
You're bringing in the stupid to drummer ratio.
I would never do that. I would never. I'm not talking about bass players. I'm talking about a drummer.
Whoa,
don't do that.
Slow down.
It's really hard to imagine what Cody would have been like if he'd not smoked weed nonstop.
Sure.
It's kind of part of his whole thing. But he's totally not a yeah, dude kind of guy. He's not that. He's more like he's more wired and like paranoid and
so it should help him like calm down.
Got it.
I think so. I think he medicates himself by keeping himself irie or whatever. He's trying to tamp down the thing that I prefer to amp up by drinking lots of caffeine or doing whatever. I like uppers, and he wants to keep it under control, and I'm like, it's like pour a little gasoline.
Okay, so have you been turning up during quarantine a little bit more then?
Yeah, it sounds like you have. Yeah, it sounds like you
get bored.
Okay.
For sure.
Hey, man, I'm not your mom or dad. You can be cool with me, brother. It's all good.
Yeah, you can be honest.
My mom and dad
us.
have done more drugs than I'll ever do. So I can't have nobody's like watching me, or there's no babysitter.
They're calling you a pussy, and you're like, I thought I was partying pretty hard, guys. And
because they're like, in the 70s, we used to do that in an afternoon or whatever.
The grass wasn't as strong.
Yeah,
the mortgage was a little bit cheaper.
I don't think my parents. I don't think they like thinking about me, doing a lot of cocaine. I don't think they love to think about
What
that
parent
because I
does?
don't think they did it.
No. I mean,
Well,
my parents
it's
don't
part
like
of
to
life.
think of me doing drugs, but
But they know, they've heard the music, they know what's going on.
Yeah, they're like, it'd be weird if he wasn't doing drugs. Some pretty heady shit.
I don't think I would need to. I don't think you need to take drugs to do heady shit. I think there's I think it's just like, probably it would be weird to take a little bit of drugs and make really heady music. I think that's a little strange. But I think the idea of somebody that like never does drugs, do you remember that comic Asterix?
No.
Comic? You mean like comic book?
Comic book, yeah.
Oh, comic book. No, I don't.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
like
like
a
comic
strip.
book. And it's from Belgium, I think.
Okay.
And it's called Asterix, the Gaul or whatever. And it's like, there's a character in that. They take this magic potion and they fight the Romans in the comic book or whatever.
Okay.
And then, I can't believe you guys haven't heard of this.
We're not huge comic
We're not
junkies
really
on this
into
side.
comics.
Especially the Belgian
Well, it's not
stuff.
even a comic thing. It's like some, I guess it's just an American
It's like
thing
it's
to
like
not have heard of
mythology
it.
at this point.
No, it's just like a really, really famous, it's really similar to,
Like Lord of the Rings.
no, it's like,
Babar?
who's that guy? He's like a guy that runs around and solves crimes and stuff like that. It's like a comic.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Anyway,
Dick Tracy?
it'll come to me. But anyway, there's a character in it called Obelix.
Mm-hmm.
He fell in the pot of potion when he was a baby, and now he can't have any more because he's just permanently strong all the time.
Okay.
So that some people are like that.
Oh.
That was a really roundabout.
I see
way.
what you're saying.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like some people are so weird that drugs can only make them more normal.
No, I think the phrase is I don't do drugs. I am drugs.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So if like Frank Zappa's a good example. He never did drugs. This shit's so weird.
Oh yeah, he never did drugs.
I'm all set on Frank.
He's an anti-drug. He was an anti-drugs guy. He wouldn't let his band do drugs. It's like
Right.
it's weird.
He's just a natural freak.
What a narc.
He is. It is kind of coppish, but it's still that's weird. It's weird for a rock star to be kind of like that. It's unusual.
Yeah.
There's always those band guys who take it really seriously and we can't. We have to be 100% every time.
That's just weird though, because I feel like I can't. Like I have to have a cocktail of things to be the best version of myself on stage. Like I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like if I was sober on stage, that would be a little. I feel this is a really unhealthy thing to probably put out into the world, but it's just true.
No, I'm with you.
That I'm like I feel like it would be ripping off the audience if I was out there like thinking too much. Because if I'm in the right state of mind, then I'm performing better.
Your body does the performing, not your mind.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah, if you have 3 Marlboro Lights and 2 Monster Energies, you're just in the fucking zone, and you're just going to give the people their ticket.
It's like playing darts. It's like playing billiards.
It's like you stand next to somebody who's smoking a menthol cigarette, and then you walk through a really loud room,
and then you're like, I've got it. I'm ready. so how many?
Like
do you have like a pre-show ritual of like, I need to get this amount, like I need to drink 1 shot of Casamigos, half of a Corona Light, and is there you just kind of like get a good buzz
but with
going?
much better booze than that.
Okay 1940. Okay,
do not do that, you snob. Okay.
I'm in my 40s. I'm allowed to be a fucking dad now. I don't give a shit.
okay, what are we sipping, Dad?
Sounds like our new friend Ruben must have gotten that 818 tequila influencer package from Kendall Jenner, is what it sounds like to me.
So the good stuff is what you're saying.
True. I mean, Corona's fine. I don't drink Corona. I like really nice beer as well.
Well, you do live in Portland.
Are you an IPA daddy?
No, I don't like IPAs. I like Belgian beers a lot, and I like German beer a lot. But the craft thing, I don't know. I mean, craft beer's okay, I guess. Sometimes
it has its moments.
You're my kind of snob. I'm sober and I still like your snobbery. I'm the same way. If a drug dealer used to offer me, he's got 3 grades of cocaine, I'm definitely paying for the nicest one, even though it's all a scam.
Well, I think it's also about I think if a coke dealer is offering you 3 grades of cocaine, then it's probably a scam. If they're offering you 1 grade,
100%.
It's good, But anyway, so like if it's like if you're gonna, I think it's whether you think you're killing yourself or whether you're fooling yourself into thinking that you're going to live forever. If you know you're killing yourself, kill yourself with style.
Ruben, we're birds of a feather.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, don't do the thing that's going to hurt you. Enjoy it. Feel no remorse. I feel like you'll end up living longer that way versus regretting every quesadilla that you eat.
Yeah.
every drink you have?
Life's too short. So if that makes me a snob, then I don't really think I am a snob, because I think I'm kind of the opposite of a snob. But I like nice things.
It ain't tricking if you got it.
I like good music.
What kind of tequila? What kind of tequila are you sipping on? I like Oasis too. Okay, so what kind of?
No, I mean tequila's not. I'm more snobby about beer actually. Tequila is one of those things. It's like coffee. Some things I'm not like. I just admit that I'm not. I don't have.
You don't have the palate for it.
I don't have the palate for it. Like wine, it all tastes the same to me.
Mm-hmm.
Tequila, I like coffee. Basically, I love all of it. I don't have to have my special like beans or whatever. I can kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I can appreciate good coffee, but then if I have a shitty coffee, I'm like, yeah, this is good. And then, and tequila's like that too. So I actually, anything that's like, decent, that doesn't have a plastic. We always used to say on the rider, we've always had a thing that says, especially in Europe, we'll take any tequila that doesn't have a plastic sombrero on the top. That's a pretty good. Sounds funny, but it is actually a pretty good, especially in Europe. Like in Europe, they're just kind of like, yeah, this is tequila, right? And it's just like, no, it's not.
In Europe, they're like,
tequila.
okay, what's tequila?
Yeah.
Yeah, how was it the first time you came to America and saw the cocaine prices?
I didn't really, the first time I ever saw tequila was backstage in Australia when we were hanging out with, I probably shouldn't say who. And then they were doing cocaine.
No, you can
And
say
we were like,
it's fine.
not for cop reasons, just for life ruining reasons.
Bro code.
I'm just kidding.
Bro code. And then
sorry, Chris doesn't have a lot of festival
and we were
experience.
like, whoa, because we're from New Zealand, and nobody really knows what New Zealand is, but New Zealand is just like New Zealand people are just really naive. That's one thing I think. And really cynical, like we act cynical because we're naive, and so like we kind of were in a corner going like, "What? Are they doing cocaine?" It's like it wasn't real, like because you can't get it in New Zealand, really.
Well, I guess I was asking because everyone I know from Australia, when they come to America and they see the cocaine prices, they're like, "Holy shit!" So you're saying you're like, "Oh, I saw cocaine."
Yeah, it's like free in America compared to the
Australia should have thought to get their government agencies to sell it, and then it would be cheaper.
Oh, this guy! So you're a conspiracy theorist. I like that.
All right, Ruben, walk me through some of the subreddits that you're on. Well, let me see. What message boards?
It's real. It's what's the conspiracy? Is it a conspiracy theory at this point?
No, I agree. It is obviously
real. Who did
real.
9/11? Ruben, who did 9/11? Just answer the question. Who did 9/11? Bush or Al Qaeda?
No, Bush. Well, not Al Qaeda. No, both. They both did it.
Bush did 9/11 for sure, with a little help from his friends Al Qaeda.
Yeah,
but also, it's a lot easier to flatten those two towers when the Earth itself is flat. Do you agree with that, brother man?
Great.
Okay, sure.
And the moon's not real.
Great point, Jason.
And my
I've never
tequila
thought
of
about
choice,
it like
ivermectin.
Oh, now we're talking.
Yeah.
I'm deworming as we pod, so I'm with you on that.
Goddamn worms. I mean, I was itching my arms for the first half of this conversation. That's why it sounded so bad. That's why I've been saying so many fucked up things.
That's just the worm talking, baby.
Shit.
Yeah.
Is there when's the record coming out?
I don't know what a record is going to be at this point because when you're touring and then you're recording, it's like everything you record becomes the next album kind of thing. But I've just been experimenting the whole time and writing a bunch of stuff. So I have all this stuff ready to go. So I don't really know what I'm doing. And also the world, especially the touring world and the record releasing world, is in such turmoil. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm responding to, because I don't really, I do everything by vibes. So
you're more of a vibes guy. I remember that from earlier in the show.
That I'm just kind of like, I don't get a feeling for what I'm supposed to do.
How's your relationship with your manager? You sound like a tough guy to deal with.
I think we are very. Do you at least as a joke understand anything about horoscopes?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the theory of it, of a few what signs are what? Like, I don't believe in it, but it still is kind of interesting. But he's a Virgo and I'm a Pisces, so we're like the opposite.
We're both Virgos.
Okay, so and we're kind of opposites, and because we're opposites of each other, we sort of like balance out.
The yin to your yang.
I'm not saying it's because of horoscopes. I'm just saying that it's a good way of explaining what's going on. So he's very different from me, and I'm very flaky compared to him and stuff. But we kind of get the job done between
He's
us.
really good at cleaning up the messes that you make and vice versa.
It's true. I think I'm
He
good.
almost likes it.
What am I good at? I don't know.
You're good at making music, Ruben. Don't worry.
I think
bro,
what
you
I
make
do.
music.
I think what I do in my relationship with my manager is I help him break out of
Tax bracket?
his routine.
You keep him from being stagnant in this.
I think a little
life.
bit, yeah, and or not keep him from being stagnant because I'm sure he'd be fine without me. But I think that's what makes it interesting. That's what makes our friendship.
Financially, he might not be so fine.
Yeah, we have fun. I mean, if I was left to my own devices, I'd probably be dead by now, honestly. So it is good. I do like to kind of have people around me that kind of go like, "Hey, come back from."
Hey, you should stay alive. You should
Yeah.
we got to have you alive.
Yeah.
Not because I like you as a person, because I'm getting 10% of this all this shit. So
Yeah.
things are going pretty good right now. But it's good. It's good that you have the ability to kind of take time and decide when you want to tour, when you want to put out music, when the music that you make is leaning more on the timeless side than the poppy whatever side. Like it has to come out now, or else this wave's going to be over. Like
Yeah, we value that a lot. That's like our whole thing. It's like we want our life to be.
it might even get better with time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Tom's great. It's just like we work because we figured out a good formula between the bandmates and everything like that. And we stayed out of the major label world, which I think was a good choice because I think that for a while there, right before quarantine hit, I started thinking like, well, I don't know, maybe I could sign to a major. I don't know. And then as quarantine went on and I thought about it a lot more, I was just like, no, I couldn't do that. I was dealing with more. We were dealing more and more with major labels, and we didn't enjoy it. So we were just kind of like, no, we actually have it like we have all the settings right. I just make the music and I put out whatever I want and I make a living and everybody's chill but hardworking.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and everybody gets along because everybody's kind of figuring out that they get enough and stuff. So it's been really good that way. And I really feel like the world's the problem. It's the world's.
The world is a problem,
Of course.
not Spotify.
Yeah, well, Spotify's fine. I really don't get it. Do you guys have any insight? I mean, people must be getting like really not enough money or something.
We make a lot. We make a lot of money off this podcast, so we have no issues. Thank you to our friends at Spotify.
We're too nice to Spotify now. We have to go in the other direction.
Let's pull it back, Chris. Pull it back.
Dial it back.
Obviously, you made a lot of money
I'm
up
sorry,
until the 2000s or whatever, and things had to change. But like you said before, like it's either that or full piracy and nothing. It's already bad enough. Like you have to, you're only making money off of hoodie sales.
Yeah, and I got so used to living broke that now I feel like I never ever feel like I'm wanting for anything now because I'm just kind of like, oh, there's enough money to do that, so fuck it. But also, we're not Americans, so we don't judge ourselves by all the stuff we
Objects? Oh, well, you should move then
Interesting.
because you're not fitting in.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
America wasn't always. Not every American runs their shit like that. So
I agree. There's a couple of us cool Americans still left.
I mean,
Are there? I'm looking for them. I'm
Not
I'm
you,
just
Chris.
surrounded by all my stuff. I'm surrounded by all the stuff I buy to make myself feel better, and it feels.
well, it
pretty
is
good, to be
kind of
honest.
like that, right? Isn't it?
I'm surrounded by vibes.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like, what else can you do but buy stuff right now? It's kind of sucks, but it's also kind of like calming to be like, maybe these shoes look cool. Maybe they'll make me happy for like 2 days. It's like what everybody thinks is bad about capitalism, but just like really way too obvious and in your face.
Well, I mean, the Rolexes are going to be an investment in your future. So
Yeah, I'm
not
sure.
everything is just useless spending.
They hold their value.
Yeah, you're rocking the Audemars right now, but your son's going to get that one day, and he's going to be thankful that you gave him the bust
The
down AP.
Audemars.
It's going to be nice.
He's got that. He's the offshore. That's going to be not going to be his. It's not going to be his jam. I don't think. My son's going to be all the G-Shocks.
Get him off the G-Shocks now. Get him off the G-Shocks now. Get him a ladies Rolex for his small wrists, and then he'll be able to take dads when he gets a little older.
26, 31, something like that.
Yeah, you save money, exactly. I'm always thinking about the bottom line. That's kind of my thing here.
Yeah, just keep buying Rolexes until your business manager texts you, and then that's when you know it's time to stop.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, Ruben, well, thank you so much for having a chat with us. I hope you enjoyed this fun podcast.
Yeah, I've been listening to the podcast lately. It's really fun. Oh. I didn't actually know. Did you guys? Great. Can I ask you a question? This might not be in the actual podcast, but
of course.
Did you sign to Jaguar?
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Oh, that's right, Ruben. We're label mates.
Yeah,
don't worry about that.
Because you're the first. That's the first. I mean, I've never heard of a podcast signing to a label at all. Is this the first?
It is the first.
It's called
groundbreaking,
is what it is. It's called earth-shattering news.
Well, okay.
We're recording. We've recorded a double CD that is going to be released this fall.
Okay. So you're putting a record out.
Well, it's not going to be music. It's basically kind of like us. Like we kind of chose a playlist of music from the archives over the last. What is it, 25 years?
25 years.
So it's to sort of commemorate the 25th anniversary. We picked out a bunch of our favorite songs, and then we talk about it, and there's like interviews with some other people and like anecdotes from, other people and label mates and stuff like that.
If you want to actually, Ruben, if you want to do us if you want to do us a favor and give us a drop right now, that would be great. Just say, hey, it's Ruben from Unknown Mortal Orchestra, and you're listening to How Long Gone. It's just like the radio. You've done this before.
Hi, this is Ruben from Unknown Mortal Orchestra, and you're listening to How Long Gone.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
I believe in magic. Why? Because it is so quick. I don't need power when I'm hypnotized. Look in my eyes. What are you seeing? I see. How do you